Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
Hey, I'm James Spann. This is the morning edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Monday, the 24th of January. Got a classic storm developing in the Gulf of Mexico in the next 24 to 36 hours. It's going to bring a good soaking rain to the state tomorrow. That's a given. But the big question is, will there be a big snow in here tomorrow night and Wednesday morning? Maybe. Maybe not. Let's tell you what we know here. Let's look at some of the Skycam shots around the network. First off, coming from Tuscaloosa. As a look at the Hugh Thomas Bridge from the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse, looking over toward Northport. The sky's mostly cloudy. There's a look at downtown Clanton down in Chilton County. Soon it's going to be time to think about those peaches down there. And our friends that are in the peach growing business always have to worry about those big-time late-season cold snaps in March and April. And a bit farther to the south, there's a look at the Hugh Thomas Bridge in Selma, crossing the Alabama River in Dallas County. All right, you can see the shortwave energy developing off to the northwest of the state. And in advance of that, it's cool but not too cold this morning. Readings are mostly above freezing. The only spot below freezing of all places, Montgomery. That's where the sky is clear. They've got 28. Up this way, the sky is cloudy, and we've got mostly mid and upper 30s. Birmingham at 38 at 5 o'clock. We figure most spots will be in the 50s later today, where we should be for late January. A little activity on radar this morning at 5:05 over the western part of the state. We'll mention a chance of scattered light rain or drizzle today and tonight, but nothing really significant. The better rain will be during the day tomorrow. And the watch warning map are now pretty quiet. A freezing rain advisory for parts of Illinois south of Chicago. But again, that thing's going to be illuminating brightly in coming days for parts of the eastern United States with this big storm developing. And there's the big precipitation shield with that, all the way from Houston to Boston. And that's suggesting a good 1 inch of liquid for Alabama. And again, no doubt the forecast challenge involves the possibility of a changeover to snow tomorrow night or Wednesday morning. And man, I'll tell you now, it's a tough call. There's the snow outlook for tomorrow. This is valid from 6 a.m. tomorrow until 6 a.m. Wednesday. And really, right at the tail end of that period, early Wednesday morning, that's when things could change over to snow for the Tennessee Valley. This is suggesting some chance of 4 inches or more for areas along and north of U.S. 278. And again, that would be late tomorrow night or Wednesday morning if it happens. And then the next day, day 3, this is from 6 a.m. Wednesday until 6 a.m. Thursday. That's when a whopper of a snowstorm can impact some of the big East Coast cities. Be a close call for Washington, D.C. Looks like the worst of the weather should be just east of there. Awfully close to New York City and Boston. And again, that always gives... You think we're the only ones that have a hard time down here. They do up there as well, forecasting the placement. No doubt it's going to be a huge snow, but will it affect the eastern cities or not? They'll be dealing with that. We'll look at modeling. This is the 06Z run of the GFS at noon today. There's the energy off to the west. A little bit coming through here today. And again, we'll mention some risk of drizzle or, a raindrop or two through tonight, but no big deal. Cloudy, highs in the 50s. All right, tomorrow, look at that shortwave to the west. It just kind of speaks for itself. Down below that, a surface low develops in the Gulf, and it's going to be a good rain event tomorrow. We'll mention periods of rain. The heaviest rain probably over the southern half of the state, closer to the surface low. All right, now let's go to midnight tomorrow night. The surface low is out of the Gulf. It is moving into Georgia near Savannah. And again, you can see that there is heavier precipitation back to the northwest with the upper forcing, the strong upper low, and the freeze line about 5,000 feet off the ground, which can be a rain-snow line, is near Muscle Shoals. But clearly for us, this is the most interesting period right here. This is Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock. All right, the surface low is near Cape Fear, North Carolina. The freeze line at 5,000 feet is approaching Birmingham, and again, with the upper forcing back there, what could be heavy snow develops underneath that thing for parts of Tennessee and northwest Alabama and northeast Mississippi. Let's look at the, it's not surface, 2-meter freezing temperatures. The blue line here should be freezing pretty close to the surface, and it's got it near the shoals. And this primarily is dynamic cooling because of this. And that's, out of all the maps I've shown you, that's the one that really catches our attention. The core of the upper low at 500 millibars is right over us. The heights are down to 5,460 meters. And the surface temperatures that I don't have on this graphic, but it's down to about minus 24, minus 25 Celsius. There have been many instances with a setup like that in this time of the year where cooling from above, it literally brings its own cold air, forces a changeover to snow, and the model surface temperature guidance is way too warm. One recent classic example was January 1997. The models had print out a high of like 52 with rain falling at places like Jackson, Mississippi, and Meridian and Demopolis, Alabama. They wound up with 8 inches of snow and temperatures in the low and mid-30s. And I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but I'm saying, boy, it can happen easily. And then at noon on Wednesday, the surface low is near Cape Hatteras, and the whole thing is winding down. And I think the timing is right here. If anything happens, it's going to be after midnight Tuesday night through about mid-morning Wednesday. All right, here's the NAM, the North American Mesoscale model, 6 o'clock Wednesday morning, almost identical to the GFS. It is clearly cold enough aloft for snow. At 5,000 feet, the freeze line is really from near Port Payne to Birmingham, almost down to Chatham in southwest Alabama, with potential for heavy snow over northwest Alabama. Muscle Shoals, Hamilton, places like that. We'll check the European, same time. This is Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock. Almost the same deal. And that's the 540 line. And again, in this case, the lower 5,000 feet is going to be pretty warm, relatively speaking. That's a big issue here. In conventional model statistics will not show a lot of snow. It's going to show mostly rain with this. But again, there's very heavy precipitation underneath that cold core upper low. And the Canadian, almost identical, not quite as cold as the European. Look at the snow output of the GFS, and it prints just, 1 inch or less for North Alabama. North of a line from near Vernon to Aniana to Fort Payne. The big snows are up to the northeast. And again, that's what you expect out of modeling here. And let me just say this. I know that some were expecting maybe the snow accumulation graphic. There is not enough skill in dealing with a cold core upper low feature like this far in advance. We're talking Wednesday morning, and yes, I know we're within 48 hours, but when there's not enough skill to produce one, we don't. We'll take a look at the 12Z model runs and probably produce one this afternoon. But we're just going to say rain tomorrow, potentially changing to snow late tomorrow night or Wednesday morning. And we're just not going to do accumulations yet because it's too early. There's not enough skill. And if it snows, it could snow a lot. It could snow 3, 4, 5 inches in a heartbeat and get on the ground in a heartbeat. So just be aware of that. But on the other hand, if the upper low is warmer than forecast or not on the track as forecast, it's just going to be rain. So I wish I could give you a map, but it's a little too early. I do believe we will produce one this afternoon. All right, let's go to Thursday. Everything's gone. No really super-duper cold Arctic air in the wake of this thing. That would suggest a high in the 40s. Friday looks pretty good. We'll be in the 50s. And by golly, Saturday could be a pretty decent day. High maybe low 50s and a low in the low 30s. And again, that's a little below average, but not bad for late January. And Sunday, another cold highs coming in from the north. Highs might drop in the 40s a little bit. But the bottom line is, after this big thing passes early this week, we'll be dry for a while. And there's Monday of next week, a week from today. Very cold look over the east and northeast. Active southern stream. And again, you can see just potential for mischief there. A 1,040 millibar high around Omaha with some energy in the southern branch. And that kind of looks icy almost. Maybe down there for parts of the Arklatex. And we'll jump out a couple of days on the 3rd of February, and again, it's the same deal. You got the northern branch with the cold air just north of us and an active southern branch with a southwest flow aloft. And again, this is the system that's been shown up around Groundhog's Day for a week or so. It's still there. This is a warmer look. That looks like mostly rain, but note that big 1,044 millibar high sitting over the Canadian border. And that'll change again, but it's interesting to note that the consistency has been there all along. But this is absolute voodoo, still way, way too far to forecast. And on the 8th, same deal. A very cold look for the northern part of the country, a very active southern stream, and just, I don't know. If that pattern keeps up, there might be some icing issues for somebody in the deep south at some point down the line, but we'll see. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 3:30 or so today. And if you are local to us, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 in Birmingham at 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.